Welcome to the Sunday morning simulcast with Rom Wills. Face and heal trauma in your life. Face and heal trauma. And before I get started, I'm just giving advice, but I'm not giving medical advice. If you have the type of trauma that needs the assistance, or the assistance of a mental health professional, please get that. I'm just giving advice. I can't tell you how to handle your particular trauma, but I can give you the advice of dealing with it. See, here's the thing. We all have gone through some trauma. Now, here's the thing. It's our trauma. Now, sometimes we might go through something and we'll tell somebody, and they don't see it as a big deal. They don't see it as a big deal. But then for someone else, it is a big deal. It could be anything. It could be bullying. Unfortunately, it could be physical or sexual abuse as a child. For some, it could be the trauma of getting a B on a test. Now, somebody would say, let me use that as an example. Someone gets a B on a test, but they're one of those like young people that have like a 4.2 average in school, straight A's. They get a B. Now, somebody else might say, hey, a B is not that bad, but it's their personal trauma. See, one of the things that we have to do, if someone does share something with us, we can't make light of it. And I'm gonna be real, that's a lesson I had to apply for myself, because I'm not going to get into some major stuff happening like with some celebrities, but it wasn't a big deal to me. I'll leave it at that. But then I thought about it and I was just like, well, maybe it is to them. It wasn't to me. So I said, okay. So as I always say, I'm not a guru on top of the mountain. I have to grow. And indeed, traumas that I faced, one of my reaction to them was to like close my heart to it. So indeed, you could say, okay, Rom, you need to deal with that. And I deal with that. I've dealt with it over the years, still deal with it. I don't mind sharing that with people. But the thing is, I faced it. Like whatever trauma you have, you gotta face it. You can't let it hold you back. It could be someone calling you unattractive. Like some people might be like, yeah, whatever. I've met men and women, it was major trauma. You have to face it. You have to face it. Because, see, what happens with a lot of people is they will have that trauma and they don't face it. But then it starts affecting them in subconscious ways. It can even affect how they look. Like say they had some trauma, but to cope with it, they start eating. To cope with it, they start using drugs. To cope with it, they start stressing out their body. Indeed, some massage therapists have mentioned that you can carry stress in your body. Other massage therapists, other professionals. So it's still affecting you. That trauma is still affecting you on multiple levels. But see, a lot of people don't face it. See, the first thing is face it, no matter what it is. It's no shame on your part. No shame. Like one of the worst traumas someone can face is sexual abuse. And I've actually talked privately with individuals regarding that. They would tell me, and of course, my first recommendation would say, look, I'm not a mental health professional. You need to get therapy as soon as possible. But that's a major one. But you get people who don't face it. They don't face it. And then it messes them up in other things. So that's the first thing. You have to face it. You have to acknowledge it. There's no shame in it. Things happen. Things happen to you. Like I say, abuse is coming. It could be sexual. It could be emotional abuse. It could be physical abuse. You have to face that first and foremost. And understand, you're not the perpetrator of it. It's not your fault. You are a victim. And there's no shame in being a victim. Just accept that. But then you get to the second part. You work to heal it. But in order to heal it, you have to face it first. So, okay, you faced it. You have to heal it. Like I said, don't have any shame in going to a mental health professional or whoever you have to go to. A mental health professional, a spiritual leader, an elder, someone who can help you, someone who can help whatever level it is, someone who can help you deal with that trauma. And understand something. Remember, it's no shame in having that trauma. Stuff happens to all of us. Anybody say they haven't faced something, I'm going to be like Cap. Like I said, I faced my own stuff I had to deal with and still facing it. I have no problems admitting that, because anybody who say, oh yeah, life's been perfect or something, I'll say, okay, show me. Because, you know, there's been people, they haven't really reached their potential because of some traumatic event. Like I said, we all go through it, all of us, but we have to heal it. And once you face it, then you heal it. And understand something, healing, I don't care what it is, it's not going to happen right away. Because indeed, many people have carried trauma within them for decades. For decades. Like I had a very good friend, dear friend, they were facing some trauma from childhood, something that they did. It was an accident that caused someone else some harm. And they were facing the trauma of that for years until they were able to get some healing. They were able to get some healing, some perspective, you know? And that's important. And I saw the change in them as they got that healing. But it's still day to day. It's a day-to-day thing. Because the trauma, you know, you can heal it, but you'll still have the memory of it. So you have to deal with it every day. And sometimes you can have that flashback or something triggers it. That's why it's day to day. It's day to day. But you can be healed of it. And look, that's very important. All of us have gone through something. We need to work on it. And like I said, I strongly recommend maybe a mental health professional if it's really severe. But sometimes maybe just talking it out with a loved one can help. But even after that, that's just the beginning. Day to day, you have to deal with it every day. But see, every day that you get better from it, that's a great day, every single day, all right? But you have to first face it, acknowledge it, understand, look, you're not at fault. It happened. Things happen. You know, sometimes the trauma could be an act of nature. Things happen. But then once you face it, work to heal it. Work to heal it. So I want y'all to really do the things that you have to do to get better. All of us. And all of us are on that journey. So I want y'all to really meditate, pray, consult your spiritual advisors, whatever you need to do. But heal that trauma. Face the trauma and then heal it, okay? I wish everyone peace and blessings. And as always, keep rising and transforming.